Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. A few nights ago I made a video, and it was the first video that I had made in a really long time. And I have to say, by the time I finished the video, I really felt great. And it just gave me an idea that what I should be doing is kind of doing like a journal or a vlog every night or every couple of nights whenever I have a topic that I want to speak about, because I found it really therapeutic, and I'm hoping that in me finding it therapeutic, I can also help other people. If some of the things I say resonate with other people and maybe help other people, then it's a win-win situation. And I want to keep it interesting, and I want to discuss topics that I think are at the top of everybody's lists, and I want to discuss topics that I think everybody can relate to. And that's why one of the topics that I really wanted to touch upon is depression. Now, in my last video, I told you that I was having some family issues, and that I'm actually staying in an extended stay hotel right now. It's kind of like a little efficiency apartment, studio / efficiency apartment. So it's not the greatest thing, but hey, I've got a roof over my head, and it's comfortable, and I'm out of the heat, and I've got everything I need here: a shower, a TV, a refrigerator, stove, microwave, that type of thing. So I'm not really doing too bad. So you've got to look at the positive side of things as well. But that brings me to my next topic, which I want to talk about, and that's depression. Now, I know that all of you have probably at some point in your life experienced depression, even if you don't realize that that's what you had experienced. And one of the main, one of the most dangerous, I guess you'd say one of the most dangerous parts of depression is what I like to call hopelessness. And when a person becomes hopeless or thinks that there's no hope for improvement in their life, that's when a person can be at their most vulnerable. And that's also when a person who is not mentally stable may be at their most dangerous, or they may behave very erratically and sometimes even dangerously. So I wanted to take a few minutes to talk to you all about recognizing the signs of depression and being hopeless and what you can do about it. And I want to reassure you all that things do get better. Now, I know at the time, because people have said this to me too, oh, everything will get better. Tomorrow's another day. Just hang in there. And at the time when they say that, you're thinking to yourself, bullshit. It's not going to get, this is just, it's not going to get any better. This is it. I don't see it getting any better. And who are these people? They don't even know what I'm going through. But it's just something people say, because let's face it, talking about this stuff is uncomfortable. And sometimes, even with your close family members or people that you would consider best friends or support system, sometimes even it's uncomfortable to talk about it around them. So tonight we're going to, just talk about it. And I want to let you all know that please, if you're ever feeling hopeless, there are people out there who care about you. Now, even if your friends or family are not going to be there for you for whatever reason, I know sometimes people that have that have issues with substance abuse, sometimes their families will cut them off. They call it tough love. Now, I'm not a believer in tough love. I think that that's crazy to cut a person off who truly is at their most vulnerable and really needs the help and support of family at that time. I know that sometimes when substance abuse is involved, people can steal from their family members, and they can, really not, treat their family members the way that they should be treating them. And what happens is the family members, they break away, or they kind of cut the person off, and they kind of just put their foot down and say, that's it, I'm not doing this anymore with you. And that's sometimes people need to do that. I'm not saying that that's not wrong to do. I'm just saying that you should always exhaust every possible avenue to try to help a person before you cut them off, because if you do cut them off, it may be the last time you see them, because You don't know, what level of depression or hopelessness that person's at. So you really never want to do that unless it's really a last option. And I'm not a mental health professional, or I'm not a substance abuse counselor or anything like that. I'm just talking to you as a person. I have had issues myself with opiate abuse and opiate addiction in the past, and thankfully I'm clean right now, and I have been for a while. But you have to be vigilant about that. But that, again, that's going to be a topic for another night. Tonight, when I want to talk, we're talking about being depressed, and oftentimes I think that it's hard to recognize when somebody that you care about is depressed, because we have like the social media. I call it I call it social media life, because everything is on social media, and if you look at people's news feeds on Facebook and other social media sites, you'll notice that very rarely do they post something that's bad or something that's negative that's happening in their life. Everybody's life, if you went by social media, just about everybody would be having like the perfect life 100% of the time, and we all know that that's not reality. Life is a series of ups and downs, and sometimes, and many times in people's lives, there are more downs than ups. So it's just not a realistic, let's say, showing of what a person's life actually is. So we really don't want to be paying too much attention to social media. Now, on the flip side, sometimes when people are in crisis, they do use social media to kind of let people know, hey, there's a problem, I'm not feeling well, or I'm in crisis and I need help. So at the same time, you should be vigilant about that as well. But when it comes to depression and hopelessness, I just want to tell you that it does get better. And to me, again, I'm not a mental health specialist or anything like that, but to me, there's like two types of depression. There's what I call normal depression, and that's what just everybody has from time to time, because we can't, as human beings, be happy 100% of the time. If we're happy and upbeat 100% of the time, that's probably not great either, because that means that you're probably not feeling all of the emotions that you should be feeling. So we can't be happy 100% of the time, but I call it normal depression, because it's just a normal sadness that people feel from time to time, because maybe you lost a family member, you lost a job, you had something happen financially or with your health or a loved one's health, and you're going to go through these moments where time periods where you're going to be sad, and that's okay. So I call that normal depression. And then there's clinical depression, where that's an illness, where there's something wrong with somebody's body, somebody's brain, to where that is an illness that needs to be treated either with medication or therapy or both. And I've had that in the past, and although I don't take medication anymore, I do go to therapy, and I go to counseling, and I attend support groups and things like that. I attend things like NA and a PTSD group and things like that for veterans. So it's very important to recognize the difference between the two. And I'm sure if you would speak to a psychiatrist or a psychologist, they would tell you there's probably many more. But those two are the ones that I associate depression with. So you want to really be mindful of the fact that somebody who is mentally ill, who has an illness, cannot control their behavior, and can't control when they become depressed. And I have a friend that's bipolar. It's really awful to see how this person can go from this extreme state of happiness to this extreme state of sorrow literally in seconds. And it seems like almost anything can set this off, can trigger this to go from one very high state to a very low state. And I really feel for people that, bipolar is a terrible a terrible disease, and I think it's one of the hardest diseases to treat and to overcome and to live with. But another thing I really want to touch upon tonight is that making these videos has been so therapeutic for me, and I think that if you are depressed right now, this is what you should be doing. You should not be sitting alone somewhere hiding it. If you don't have anybody to talk to, get your laptop out, your Chromebook, your tablet, your phone, whatever, and start recording a video. You don't have to have expensive equipment. You don't have to be really technologically savvy. Just start talking about how you feel. And let me tell you what, you're going to help somebody else, because somebody else is going to see your video and they're going to realize that they are not alone, and that's huge. And let me tell you, I don't know, I always try to do a good deed every day, whether it be helping somebody who's homeless by buying them food or a drink, or even just giving them money, which I tend not to want to give them money because I'd rather buy them food or something to drink. But sometimes that's what they want, and sometimes the best thing you can do is just to help people, is to give them what they want. So, and other times it's not good to do that, but sometimes it is. So I try to do a good deed like that every day, even if it's just going over and talking to them, giving them a bottle of water, or something like that. And let me tell you, you will feel so fantastic inside. You will feel so great. It's just a great thing to do every day. If you just do it once a day, it's going to change your life like you would not believe, and it's going to change the lives of the people that you're helping. Because not only are you going to be giving that person comfort in that instance, but you're going to be instilling in that person a faith in human beings, and a faith that things are going to get better, and a faith that there are people out there that want to help them and that care about them. And that is huge. There is no amount of money that can give that feeling, okay? So I highly encourage that. So we're getting up about 12 minutes. I try to keep these around 10 minutes. So because I know people's attention spans is short. So that's the deal. I feel great right now because I just let a whole bunch of stuff out, just talked about it. And I know that I can ramble sometimes, but this is what you got to do. I highly recommend doing this. Just start doing this. Get them up on YouTube. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. And let me also tell you that if you are feeling down or low, I'm going to put my Facebook link in my profile. You can go ahead and contact me, and I'll talk to you if you have nobody to talk to, okay? So, guys, I don't want to keep you any longer. It's going on about 13 minutes here. Thanks for watching the video, and I will definitely be back soon with another one.